Alright guys, this is a new episode of Ask Justin K. I think I have the K on there in the title.
Had the K.
Ask Justin K. That way it's
Okay.
not any other Justin that
Alright.
might want to answer questions. We have a special guest here, the same Warwick that we had on our last video. And if you might remember the last Ask Justin episode, we were in South Africa. We are not in South Africa today.
No, we're not.
We have brought Warwick here. He's actually been spending a few weeks here kind of doing like a internship sort of thing where I basically work him to the bone and he tries to be happy about it. But it's been good. So it's kind of cool though. We get to have you for both the first two Ask Justins. I don't anticipate it happening a third time in a row.
Oh, so you mean I'm not going to come back out again?
And hopefully it does not take me that long to do another Ask Justin.
There's always Scott.
So, let's hit some questions.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, first question up is from South Denmark.
Hold on. I gotta get my World Ball Pythons coffee. Here.
Yeah, you're going to keep
Just happened to have this mug out today.
Okay. Okay, first question comes from South Denmark Reptiles.
Okay.
Which one of your projects do you think has the most potential and why?
Man, I should have thought about these questions before you asked them. I actually wrote down all these questions for you, but it's been almost 2 weeks, and so I don't even remember what they are in advance. Most project I'm most excited about? I don't know, all of them.
All of them.
I think I tend to get excited about individual potentials as opposed to one specific project because there's just so much cool stuff that I just want it all. I don't know. I don't focus in that much, unfortunately, on one thing. The next project is always my favorite project.
The next one.
So, the next one.
Yeah, that's always how it's going to be. It keeps you going.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Next one is Brian Stewart 13. What is your hands down favorite individual animal that you produce?
Huh. You know, as far as like amazed, that was amazed when it hatched. As far as like really special, I think it would have to be the Highway Pieds, maybe.
The Highway Pied.
The Highway Pied combo, the Paso Highway Pied. I was blown away when I saw those. Some combos, a lot of combos, I see them out of the egg, but the actual significance of it takes a while to sink in. Like on the Batmans, they were cool. I thought they were cool when they hatched, but it was probably when they got a few hundred grams I started to think, this is really something special.
Yes.
But on the Highway Pieds, I was sure right off the bat. First Dreamstick was also really special, but that wasn't something that I made for the first time, so it's a little different,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Robert B.D. Costa, what do you think of the bamboo gene?
I like it. I think it's cool. I actually dismissed it a little bit at the beginning. I think a lot of people did. It's just another blue-eyed Lucy complex animal. But
I think the potential is starting to come out now.
yeah, I mean, yes, it is still part of the complex, which is a little bit limiting. You know that you're going to have a white super. That's limiting. But it is, aside from maybe the Mojave Phantom, it's the most versatile blue-eyed Lucy complex animal. It's way more versatile because of its color and everything than I think the lesser and the butters are. So I think it's really, really awesome gene. Yeah, I put a lot of stuff. I love the leopard stuff that's been done with it recently. That's one of my favorite directions. So.
Okay. Next one, Psychotic Killers. What's your take on the tri-stripe ball python? Like, dislike, why?
So I like the tri-stripe. I think it's great. The issue is for some reason the market doesn't seem to care about it as much as it should, I don't think.
Personally, I don't think they've seen the true potential yet because people are working on it in a slow way.
Yeah, I think, I'm not working with it really yet. So I haven't done anything, to help it at all. But for some reason, when it comes to like the genetic stripe and the tri-stripe, the market just doesn't seem to care that much about them, even though they're really cool animals. And hopefully we'll see a little bit of a resurgence, someone will make some cool stuff. I think what it needs, initially what's been done is trying to keep the stripes nice and put colors on them. So we have the lavender albino, the albino, some of the recessives, double recessives. I think what it needs is something to mix up the pattern. It needs spot nose and leopard, and I think it'll screw up the pattern. It won't be necessarily tri-striped anymore, but I think it has potential to make something else that we can't conceive of potentially. So.
Okay. Next question from Blood Bowl Reptiles. Where do you see the focus of ball python market over the next few years? Will we as an industry continue to stack genes to make the next combo, or will we shift to refined production of already established combos?
I found a dime that's pure silver.
We're shooting a video right now. You walked in the middle of it.
Thank goodness we went live.
It's in 63, exactly the year.
You're right. Pure silver.
I'll trade you. I'll trade you.
What are you going to do with it?
I know. But I found Mom's car.
Good job.
Can't you send it to a metal refinery and make more money from it?
Yeah. Than a dime? Yeah.
What you can do?
People collect those. When you buy silver online, a lot of times they'll just send you a bunch of old coins. As silver.
You can tell it because it's not brown inside.
Yeah, there's no brown. It's good, man. All right. Try to stay out because we're just shooting the middle of this video after we start this part now.
Did you pause it?
Yeah, we'll be okay.
We'll cut it out.
The cat or the animal just walk in now. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. So back to Dave's again.
Must I repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. From Blood Bowl Reptiles, where do you see the focus on the ball python markets over the next few years? Will we as an industry continue to stack genes to make the next combo, or will we shift to refine production of already established combos?
I think it'll be what you see now will continue. It's we're still stacking combos, but I think as far as what matters in the industry, it's more about unique stuff,
Yes.
Stuff that really is different because to an extent there are certain combos that you can only stack so many times, and we've definitely seen that, and the market doesn't care about the next 9-gene combo that looks like a white snake. And these multi-codon combos are also so easy to make that people in the industry who are set up for production, who want to be supplying the Petcos and the pet animals of the future, that's just what they're going to pump out. So I think what we're seeing is as far as people who want to be successful in the industry in a boutique kind of way, in a small way, and don't want to go for the massive production, they're going to have to really both refine the quality of the things they're making, but more than that even is to hone in on those unique specific things that are not only amazing but are not easy to make, that are not going to be mass produced, and they actually have value enough to continue to fund your operation, on a small scale. That's sometimes a little tough. So.
Okay. All right. JM Tortoise, what species are you working with in your special project room, and what are you looking to add to that room?
Okay, so right now I mostly have satanic leaf-tailed geckos, which I think are awesome. It's been good for me to get into a few other species just to kind of reignite my passion for reptiles other than ball pythons, which is, I started with the reptiles, generally speaking, way before ball pythons, before I was interested in ball pythons. It's been good for me. So mostly satanic leaf-tails or fantasticus. But I actually have a new species of snake coming in, hopefully this coming week, that I'll show on YouTube that I'm excited about working with as well.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Next level exotics. Where do you want to see JKR 5 years from now?
I think further down the road that I'm on, just refining, making things better. I would like to, continue to be known for the quality and for thinking outside the box, and I think that's all I can ask for. I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for the customers and people who care about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
In the end, I'm just gonna keep doing what I think is cool, and hopefully people will come along 5 years from now. So.
Okay. Nexus Royal Morphs. What combination of homozygous forms of any incomplete dominant gene do you want to produce? Example, super pastel, super NG, super orange dream.
Okay, so I remember this question. I remember putting it in. I don't actually like super forms all that much. And it's kind of weird to say that, but so if I had it's weird, but I like to produce variety. So sometimes I don't want super forms in my males as much. Like I wouldn't necessarily want a super pastel, super inchy ivory, which is what 3 supers, in a male. Because I know everything it's going to make is going to have at least those 3 genes, which sounds great on the surface, but I want to make a whole variety in a clutch.
Yeah.
And I want to make the good stuff, and it's easier to make the amazing things if you have, supers. But I'd rather have that in the females, generally, that I can pick and choose what males. But I want the clutch to be a variety, and the main reason I do that, I want that is because it's for selling purposes, I guess. To me, it's not about necessarily having the highest value of snakes, because yes, that'll maybe make you the most money, but you're also pumping out only to one specific stratosphere of people. Where I want to kind of hit all different levels of people who are interested in a project in one clutch, and not just make 10 of one thing. That's not. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me as much.
Okay. Next one from Mike McGrath, Reptiles. What is the gene or genes you are most excited to be working with right now that you can disclose?
Well, I talked about this a few times. I'm super excited about the red stripe this year. I think at this point it's safe to say I'll make some red stripe clowns for the first time. Haven't done it yet. Haven't hatched them yet. But I think they're in the incubator now. I hope we'll see some. I'm just super excited about anything that's kind of cool like that. That there's an unknown outcome. I'm excited about the puzzle stuff. I've been kind of putting together some puzzle stuff. I don't know if I'll hatch anything cool this year from it or not. Besides that, it's about just kind of reinventing existing stuff to me. I've never been one to chase the new genes much. Usually I get a hold of genes after somebody else thinks they're done with them, and I try to put my own spin on it and rethink it, reimagine it. So that's the kind of stuff I'm really interested in. I know that's not super salacious, but it is what it is.
Okay. Tip V_5. Could you explain what 50% versus 66% head means?
Okay, so this is something that really need a whiteboard to explain. But the short of it is, if you have a 66% het animal, you can know that it was produced from a pairing that was heterozygous in both the sire and the dame.
Okay.
So if you have 66% het pied, you know that each parent was 100% het pied. That's just the simple way to take away from it. If you have an animal that is 50% het pied, you know that either the sire or the dame was 100% het, but the other was not. And if you have 100% het pied, you know either the sire or the dame was visual. That's the simple kind of way. And the other thing is, it doesn't mean there's a 66% chance of it producing pies each breeding. Some people think that. It is either 100%. Say take a 66% heterozygous animal. It is either 100% or 0%. The 66% chance represents the statistical possibility or probability that it will be 100%.
Yeah.
And then when you breed it the first time, hopefully the first time, you'll know with 100% probability whether or not it is heterozygous or not. And after that, it's no longer 66%. After that, it's 100% or 0.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that you get some good odds and you don't have to repeat the pairing. It's a little complicated, but it's actually when you grasp it and you kind of it kind of hits your brain right, then you'll have it forever.
All right. There's 2 questions from the same person. Do you want me to tell them separately or
put
them together?
Sure.
Okay. The 2 questions from 248 Reptiles. How do you see the change in new morphs coming in the collections from Africa? So,
okay.
Can you edit that part out? That was really
Can't
bad.
edit it out. Yeah.
Sorry? How do you see the change in new morphs now coming more from collections than from Africa?
Okay. Well, there's definitely some new stuff in Africa, and hopefully there'll always be something new there. But I think at this point, we are in captivity. We're doing more interesting pairings than Africa. Africa, in the wild, it's random, right?
Yeah.
Relatively random within a population group. That two, animals will meet each other, or that there will be a mutation, or that the heterozygous animals will happen to breed, and a visual will pop out if it's recessive, or whatever. So there are definitely some things in Africa, but at this point, we found a lot of what's really visual there, really obvious. And I think that here in captivity, although, we're doing pairings that we're breeding interesting looking animal to interesting looking animal, and sometimes we're line breeding, and sometimes we're doing these things that they're not random at all. We see something that makes us want to do a certain pairing, and the odds of that throwing out a new mutation, I think, are much higher than the randomness of Africa. So I think we'll see a lot of really cool stuff hatching captivity, more so than the wild at this point.
And then also, what would make you label a ball python a dinker? What would be your criteria for a dinker?
I mean, I like the name. I actually like the term dinker. It doesn't bother me. But the problem is that, I mean, it's a tough one because technically, I'm fine if people want to call any interesting mark a dinker. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. I guess what is an issue is when people think that the word dinker means something, or that it matters. Okay, technically every ball python's a dinker if you look at it hard enough, and if you think about it hard enough, and you convince yourself there's something special about it. There's a vast array of what naturally occurs in ball pythons. That doesn't mean that the mark you're looking at couldn't be something, But so I guess the thing is anybody can call anything a dinker. The question is that you got to know that dinkers aren't special.
Yeah.
There's a million dinkers, a million special things. And some of the coolest looking dinkers won't prove out, right? And so, to me, like, oh yeah, this dinker that, but it just doesn't mean anything, until you do the work. The work is everything when it comes to these projects. You do the work, you figure it out, and not just show it to be heritable. You have to show it to be important, heritable in a way that somebody actually would want to have it. There's a lot of dinkers that prove out, but nobody cares. They're just not special enough, and that's just the market was what decides what's special, not you.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Royal Canadian Reptiles. What gene are you looking forward to working with the most? If you could have one snake for your collection, what one would you pick?
What morph do I want to work with the most? I can't answer that. I don't know. That I don't already have, I guess, is the inference.
Yeah.
What morph I don't already have, I guess? I don't know. I like that monsoon cool thing that Dave Green Reptiles made. That's really neat. There's some neat stuff out there that I don't have, that I'm kind of watching. And some of it I'm not sure I want, but what's going to happen is that something will be made that I am sure I want it, and I'll have to have it at that point.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm pretty satisfied. I feel it's good to be content. Okay. But I'm always keeping an eye out for that moment when I have to drop the money and get something new. What's the second half of that question?
That was which one would you pick for your collection?
Oh, I don't know that one for sure. I definitely don't know that one. If I had to pick one animal or one morph, probably a pied.
A pied?
Some kind of pied.
Okay.
I love pieds. I think if I just had to look at an animal every day for the rest of my life and not breed it, it'd be a pied of some sort.
Okay.
They're just so cool. They really are. We become a little jaded to it, but they're amazing.
All right. Mark Shannon Pham says, what is the smartest way for a newbie to strengthen the business / build for the future? What are some of the most exciting elements of the ball python future?
So if you're just getting in now, it depends on what you want to accomplish. I mean, there's so many different things. You can just, whether you want to go hobbyist or you want to really make it a business, or if you want to just have fun and have a family project, I see, my customers, I see all those things every day, different people wanting to do different things. So, but I think if you want to do it, where you actually do sell the offspring and you make a little bit of money, I would just say the best thing to do is to handle yourself well online, make cool things, and just try not to. I mean, you can't go from zero to hero easily in this business. Some people have, if they make the right thing, but most people are going to get there over the course of many years. I did. I never had one breakout moment at any moment. I still haven't. I mean, I've had some cool things, but it's all been just every year being in front of the people, making something cool, and then next year doing it again. Consistency, and then and try not to be stupid online. Not make enemies and not just be cool. So I think if someone's getting in, spend a little bit of money, conduct yourself professionally, and be patient and have fun with it, and make some cool things every year, and just let that reputation grow. There's plenty of time. We're not at the end of the market. We're not at the end of the market. You can start now and break out 5-10 years from now, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is always it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, if you do sprint, you're going to be out of steam and gone in a couple of years. That's usually what happens.
Okay. Next one from Badland Exotics. What do you think is left for the banana/coral glow gene? It seems that almost everything has been done with it. Do you think there's still life in the project, or do you think it is mostly just a good seller for pets and new hobbyists?
I think there's life in every project. And with coral glow and banana, it's like I said, most things have been done. But that doesn't mean that they're not amazing and that they're not good to make still, or that you can't take what's been done and find ways to make it just a little bit better. Sometimes that little bit better is a big deal. So I don't work a lot with coral glow and banana personally, but I like what I'm making with it, and I think it's got plenty of life left. I think all projects do. Some of them that seem to be done, I think the right person can bring something really cool to the table still.
Okay. This one here, I'm going to apologize if I butcher your name because I don't quite know how to pronounce this. Minglios.
Okay.
Okay. What is the best way to set up a recessive breeding group in your opinion?
There's no one way to do it, but usually I say if you want to kind of just get some traction, get towards the top of a certain recessive project, is to buy visual females first.
Okay.
And they can be, a little bit of extra codon genes in there or whatever, but visual females on the female side, and then either make your own hets with a really kind of cutting edge male of some sort, to create something different with those girls, or buy that cutting edge male that, down the road will work, really throw some neat stuff to kind of bring anything to the project. But I think having the visuals on the female side is the long-term way to success. Short-term, you buy the visual male and the het females, buy the het females as adults, pump them out. But that's flash in the pan kind of thing, I think.
Okay. All right. Hawachi. Again, I'm sorry if I've said that wrong. What are some genes or morphs that you think are underutilized, undervalued, or overlooked that you would be worth investing in and working with in the future?
Lots of them. Most of them. Most of the common genes are undervalued, I say, in the sense that, it doesn't mean they should be more expensive, but it means that people don't realize what they could do still if with the right things to go to it. But spot nose was one that was way undervalued. It probably still is. I don't know. They're really common now, but there's some awesome things you can do that bring amazing value to other morphs if you put it in. Red Stripe's one that I've mentioned lots of times. Cypress is one that kind of dropped quick and isn't super expensive, but love the potential of it. It's super cool. I love working with that. I'm drawing a blank. But inchies are still amazing, and they make amazing things. Leopards, of course, nobody really undervalues a leopard right now, I guess. But I just see every one of these projects having so much
potential down the road
still to bring to the table that they haven't done yet. So,
okay. All right, WizTech 1. If you suddenly could never have ball pythons again, what species would you keep? Pick one that is common and one that is rarely talked about.
Okay, so pied was one that was fairly common that I was going to keep.
If
species?
You can
if
species.
you can never
keep
Morph.
A ball python again.
Oh. So, yeah, probably my satanic leaf sails. I just really like them. I haven't even produced a baby yet. I hope to, but I just love them. They're amazing. What are the species? Man, I don't know an uncommon one necessarily.
No. Pick one that is common and one that is rarely talked about. So you've spoken about the satanic leaf tail.
I don't think those common are really talked about.
I don't know.
They're fairly common.
For me, they're uncommon.
Okay.
For me, they're really
talked about. I think in our market,
uncommon.
they're not that rare, but yeah, maybe most people consider them uncommon. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd love to get into some of the hots, but I don't think I ever will. But I love some of the vipers and stuff. They're just really cool, but at the same time, it's not really my avenue. Really, I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a half answered question. We're gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Holheim reptiles. Hi Justin, I've got a question regarding what precautions you take in case one of your thermostats fail. As a person who's getting into breeding and keeping multiple ball pythons, nothing would be sad as losing them. Thank you for the informative videos. They've been great to help.
So, thermostats, the big thing is don't skimp at the beginning. Spend the money to get a one that is
reputable.
That is reputable, right? And it's worth it. It's well grounded and all that. I really haven't had any trouble with thermostats failing. Maybe I've just been really lucky, but of all the really nice thermostats I bought, they all have worked until the day I decided to replace them, just because I thought, it's probably a good idea to replace them at a certain age.
Okay. If you talk about replacing them at a certain age, how long do you let them run for before you replace them?
It's usually until I see something on the market and I think, it looks better, or that looks really, really cool.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I'm getting kind of old, I should probably replace them. Just more of a vanity thing than anything. But I've had a lot of luck with it. But as far as building goes, I think it's really important to have some sort of setup, security setup, where it texts you if the temperatures are outside a certain range. I worry more about a building failure than an individual thermostat, because I'm running the open air racks, ARS and Freedom Breeder racks, which are fairly well ventilated. So say a thermostat failed on and it just got super hot, it would it's a fly bugging me. Say a thermostat gets stuck on and it gets super hot. The fact that the room is cool and the racks are ventilated, I'm going to walk in and hear the beeping and know that it's failed before any snakes are actually injured. They'll move to the front of the tubs. We'll be fine. Yeah. I worry more about the whole room, Georgia summer heat or the Georgia winter cold, just failing. So that I have alarms for that too. That text me if it's outside a certain parameter. That's more of a concern to me in my situation. But you kind of have to watch out for it all. You have to be aware of the problems before they occur.
Yeah. Can I actually chip in on this one?
Yeah.
I've had the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So in December last year, I had my thermostat fail where I cooked 20 odd females.
Yes.
That was super heartbreaking.
Sure.
So for me, what I've done is I've got a thermostat and then I've got a backup thermostat connected to that. Right. So should the main one fail, the second one kicks in.
Correct.
Because
you can definitely do that. It's always a good option. I do that in my incubator.
Because for me, it was at that point where I just didn't know whether to carry on or not. And then someone created the backup thermostats for me.
Yeah. That's definitely a good option. It's going to cost some money, but sometimes the peace of mind is well worth it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So a question from Dave Bunch. So here's a question about your facility, which I love, by the way. I noticed that you're still using heat tapes on all the racks. What are your thoughts about the whole room heating and getting rid of the heat tape? Have you used it in the past? Good or bad experiences? and how did it go with breeding?
I've never done that. From what I understand, that works fine for some people. I think so. My understanding is people who do that, they've had a lot of success, and it's a legit way to go. They keep their room a lot warmer, which probably helps their energy costs in the summer, and hurts them in the winter a little bit.
All right.
But for me, I'm heating my room and cooling my room at all times. So I'm trying to keep my ambient to 80 and my hot spots at 90. So I'm heating all these elements all over the room, and then I'm air conditioning the room to knock that heat down. It's a lot of energy costs. But it works for me, and I don't want to change what works for me. But I know for other people, they're doing it with no
belly heat.
No belly heat. If you think about it in the wild, they're underground. They don't have belly heat.
Yeah.
They're underground, you know. They have kind of a real constant temperature underground. So I think there's different ways of doing it. I think the ball pythons adjust to how you do it, and they're fairly easy to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you are consistent in how you do it, they'll figure it out from there.
All right. Next one from Lance Kirkman. What country do you think holds the biggest surprise for us in the ball python world?
We kind of answered that one already. Definitely America. Country. It's not a country, not a continent. Okay. So I think, wherever there's the most ball python pairings happening. So USA by default.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean necessarily that it won't be somewhere in Europe or Japan or South Africa, you name it, where the next big thing will pop out. It's really...
We've got some interesting things going on back
there. You do, sure. And a lot of places do.
Yeah.
And so wherever the most ball pythons being bred probably has the best chance, but that doesn't mean that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Maria Faye. I think I said that right.
Okay.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for the awesome review. I have a slight confusing question for your next video. If someone had purchased a snake from a third party that you or any other breeder had bred or previously owned, what do you think is either okay or inappropriate for the new owner to contact you to ask questions about the snake?
For me, it's probably individual determination on that. I pretty much provide information about the snake to whoever owns it for the rest of the snake's life.
Okay.
So as long as you can give me an ID number or some information that'll help me determine what snake we're talking about, then I'll always be on hand to offer any information I have about the animal, which will be limited because I only had it until it's sold. But yeah, certainly. I think forever is my answer. But for other people, I know they don't even keep that information handy, so they wouldn't be able to do that. But I think it's good to be able to provide that.
All right. Last question from Jeremy M. Also for the Ask Justin vlog, how many females do you breed per male? I'm sorry if I missed this. I am sorry if I missed this in a previous vlog. I'm a new subscriber and still catching up on all the videos.
Okay. How many can they do, or how many?
Or how many females do you pair with per male?
Okay. So they can pair to tons. I don't do that, and it's not because that's just not how I'm set up to work. Because I'm working with so many different recessives, and I want good variety and everything like that. My males are typically fairly honed in on a few girls. There'll be a couple males where I want to really stretch it because I really want to make some cool stuff in a certain project a year. I guess if I'm stretching it, I might get 10 clutches from a male, maybe.
Okay.
But I know you can do a lot more than that. I think people have done a lot more than that. I hear about it all the time. I think it's a little bit risky for the male sometimes, that you might kill the male in the process, but not necessarily. It's going to depend on the situation. But I would say try to read your males, keep them healthy, and let them. The bigger they get, the better they can do. The more they can do. That's the other reason I don't do a ton of females to one male is I usually don't use the same males many years in a row because I'm always trying to upgrade that boy. And so my males aren't massive, and they're a little limited in what they'll do. That last question?
That was the last question.
Okay. My phone's ringing at the exact moment. What are the odds? Okay, so let me cancel this. So I'm losing you tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, actually this evening. But
Okay, this evening. Okay. Big thank you to Work for coming here and doing this this Ask Justin video.
Yeah.
Before we did done, I wanted to make sure I say something about the T-shirts. We are selling these now. These are the JKR. I've been calling them Shatter Tees on Instagram, but then I realized I've been calling them Crystal Tea
on your website. On the
Crystal Tea sounds like a drink though, but on my website. So anyhow, you can get these on my website, or I'll put the link in the description. These are super awesome. They got my logo on back, and if you guys, I haven't actually explained this yet, but the snake that's on the front of this shirt is the exact shape snake from my logo. So that's kind of the connection to JKR. A lot of people are like, yeah, you put a ball python on the front of your shirt, but what does that have to do with JKR? Oh, you have it right there on yours.
Yeah, I've got one here.
So yeah, it's the same shape. And we're actually going to do a few more on this theme that are actually even cooler. But I wanted to start out with something and just kind of explain what the shape is.
Okay.
So you can get them on my website. We're shipping them pretty much the day they're ordered, so they go right out. We only have a few left of each size. I have to reorder because I've been shocked just posting on Instagram. You've helped me back, and you've just been we're down to 0 in a couple of the color size combinations. But click the link in the description if you want to get one of this first round, and we'll get some more in a few weeks if for some reason you're out of your size. But we have most sizes left, at least a couple shirts. So thanks a lot, and we'll do another one of these without Warwick, unfortunately, in another month or so. I appreciate you watching. See ya.
Cheers.